Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of the Losers Lounge podcast. As of right now, it is Sunday, May 28th, and you guys know what that means. Tonight is AEW Double or Nothing. It's going to take place at the T-Mobile... That was a mess up. I'll start again, folks. That will take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. For the second year in a row at the T-Mobile Arena, but for the third time overall in Las Vegas. Because, Double or Nothing, gambling time, Memorial Day weekend. Let's do this. In the meantime, folks, please welcome back once again the heelist of Balors.
Howdy. What's up? Time to talk the doublest of nothings. Time to talk all elite wrestling. Can't wait.
And let's actually be thankful that we don't have to talk 20,000 matches this time.
No, we don't.
Last year suffered from being a 5-hour main show.
Yep.
And with many matches that were completely unnecessary. I still remember when it was like, why is this on the card? Why couldn't this have been saved for like Dynamite?
Exactly.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I know you're one of Kyle O'Reilly's biggest fans, but his match with Darby Allin last year was just a waste. It was just a waste.
Yeah.
Not to mention, let's be honest, the Owen Hart Foundation tournament went on forever.
Yeah.
There is no Owen Hart Foundation tournament at Double or Nothing. However, it will begin in Forbidden Door, which will be in Toronto. And I will be attending that, folks. I can't wait to be there.
Oh, so that's where it's going to be at. Okay, nice.
Yep. My Kingdom of Toronto, Scotiabank Arena. I already got my tickets, and it's part of my tour. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned in the video that I announced my tour dates, in the span of like 4 or 5 days, I'm attending, 4 AEW events.
Shit, dude.
AEW Collision is going to be live in Toronto on Saturday, June 24th, so I'm going to be there to the second episode of Collision. Then the very next day is AEW New Japan Forbidden Door, also in Toronto. Then that's following Wednesday, Dynamite is in Hamilton. And then the very next day, Collision is taping for Saturday. Also in Hamilton. And I think the reason why they're doing the taping is because Saturday, July 1st is Canada Day, and nobody's going to be attending any shows on Canada Day.
Yeah.
Bingo. So kind of a smart business move on their part.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, folks, Double or Nothing this time, at least did not double the amount of matches like last year, so we can be thankful for that. There are 9 matches to be talked about, and when I look at them, I'll be honest, the card's looking pretty good. Maybe with the exception for a couple matches, which we will get to. But overall, I'd say it's a show worth being excited for.
That's pretty impressive, I ain't gonna lie.
As we mentioned in yesterday's podcast, it's also taking place on the same day as NXT Battleground, same time. So this is why some people will probably watch one and then the other later. Some will probably watch only one of them and not the other one at all. Or somebody might just go ahead and have 2 screens open at once, broadcasting both of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for me, that's just like too much that I could handle. I once tried to watch a hockey game and Monday Night Raw at the same time, and I just couldn't do it because it was like too much. You want to have your focus on one thing entirely.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm choosing to watch one of the events. I'm watching NXT Battleground. I chose to watch NXT Battleground live Sunday the 28th, and I will be watching Double or Nothing the following Monday afternoon on the very case that this is another 5-hour event. I mean, there's only 9 matches, but that doesn't mean they won't be spread out to like 30 to 50 minutes each.
Yeah.
So keep yourself prepared just in case for that. Willie, what are you watching like live?
I'm watching both live, actually.
Oh, at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so you're actually going through with it.
Yeah, I'm watching both. I have one phone in one hand and one phone in the other hand. I'm just watching them both.
You've got 2 phones?
Yep. Actually, 3 technically.
You got 3 phones?
Yeah, I'm supposed to got the iPhone 14 Pro.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Huh, that's actually pretty awesome to think about.
Yeah,
3 phones. So, let's see. If I called Willie on this one, what's this one right here? Oh, that's his gambling phone. Oh, and look at this. That's his... Oh, wait. No, that's the one he stole. From me. You stole my phone?
Maybe.
Give it back to me!
There you go.
Thank you. Wait, that's not my phone. That's Long Night Josh's. Never mind. You can keep it.
Okay.
I just completely threw him out. Also, folks, here's another thing that changed up. Originally, Rampage was gonna be live on Friday. However, it was taped after Dynamite.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. And I think the reason for that is because the NHL Eastern Conference Final did not need a fifth game that would have aired on Friday. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. They originally were gonna be a live broadcast. Unfortunately, they were worried that the NHL Eastern Conference would need a fifth game. That ended up not being the case. However, by this point, it's too late. They already taped it.
Yeah.
So, that's all right, though. Normally, they do a Dynamite and then a live Rampage and then the pay-per-view. So, basically, it's every other day so that you can spend like a week in the city.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Willie, if we had the money, if money was not a problem, would you totally have gone to Vegas to hang out?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I'll be honest, hot as hell over there, about 100 degrees.
Ooh, that's...
I mean, after all, it is in the desert.
Yeah.
But I heard it was a lot of fun. And who knows how much fun we'll have for tonight's event. But in the meantime, we're going to get started talking about the matches. Now, some of the matches will have quite a bit to say. Others, probably not that much to say. We may have a couple of rants here or there. Maybe a few things that we may need to talk about. But don't worry, folks. We make sure that we always know exactly what we're doing. We're trying our best not to show too much favoritism. But in the meantime, we're going to cut right to the matches. We have a couple of non-title matches and quite a number of title matches. We have 6 championships up for grabs.
6, all right.
6 of the 9 matches, 69. Just kidding, that doesn't make sense. But we're going to start off with this. This is a 6-man tag team match. And the teams are Ethan Page and the Guns against the Hardys and Hook. The ruling is if the Hardys win, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. And, you know, Big Money Matt, remember that one time he faced Hangman Page in like 2021, the winner gets the loser's quarterly earnings.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why Hangman Page is a lot more richer than Matt Hardy these days.
That's true.
Ah, man. Big Money Matt. Well, at least he didn't overdo the broken situation.
That's true.
Jeff Hardy, as we all know, is back. Last year, of course, right after Double or Nothing, he was involved in more legal troubles. And I must say, if you remember, Willie, we were all pissed off and upset about that.
Yep.
Because it's that moment, it's like, Jeff Hardy had, multiple relapses when his situations, and not to mention the drinking and driving. 3rd time getting a DUI in 10 years.
Wow.
That is absolutely wild. I should say he should consider himself lucky that he's not been imprisoned for this.
He should have been, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I still agree to this day, Jeff Hardy should have been imprisoned for his actions, because it just seems to me that it's a lot of people say it's a little too extreme, but I'm like, no. Just because you're like Jeff Hardy and you were my childhood hero does not mean I would take a look at you and say, oh, you shouldn't be punished for what happened because you were my hero. Like, that's not how things work.
There you go.
WWE and in Impact Wrestling and in AEW now. Jeff Hardy has messed up while in 3 different companies.
Yeah.
TNA, that was the absolute worst, though.
Impact Wrestling.
Drugged out while supposed to have the match with Sting. But anyways, that was the past. He's like, Jeff Hardy, he's not allowed to drive for an entire decade.
Dang.
Although, hopefully, he does not break that. I'm literally praying he not only maintains his sobriety, but he seriously just stops and he gets the help that he needed. Because he's got a wife and kids now, and this is the time when you definitely don't want to be doing this. But anyway, at least it seems like he's sober now. He's back in AEW. I really hope that, he doesn't end up messing up again. And I also hope that he takes it easy with the high-risk maneuvers, given the fact that he's close to his 50s.
That's insane. Yeah, that's true also.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful on that. For this match, I don't know. I'm honestly curious because this might be me being a little bit biased. I like Ethan Page. I met up with Ethan Page about a year ago, and he agreed, according to what people have been telling me, that we look alike. He says I'm a good-looking guy. So,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, and not to mention Ethan Page, he's also from Hamilton, Ontario. So when Collision and Dynamite take place in Hamilton, if he's there, he's coming home.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Hugh Balor, I'll ask you, who do you think will win? Ethan Page and the Guns, or Hook and the Hardys, or Hardy Hook?
Honestly, don't care for this match. I think it will be fun. I think it will be a great match. But honestly, it's just one of those stories where it's like, I don't care. I haven't really watched an AEW for like almost 5 weeks until last night, obviously, which obviously recording this on a different day, Sunday. Yeah, like, I'm just honestly going to this. It's just a toss-up for me. Either one could win. I'll be like, all right, cool. Plus, the story behind it, in my opinion, is just, I don't care for it. But it is what it is. I'm going with the faces. Hardy Hook, I guess. Hardy Hook, Hardy, I don't freaking know.
I mean, initially the Hardys and Isaiah Cassidy was known as the Hardy Party. And that's actually funny because, Private Party, Hardy Party. Yeah. Although, in my opinion, the Hardy Party was only valid when Jeff Hardy was world champion in WWE.
Exactly.
Good times.
Good times indeed.
I really also think that they're putting this on the card also because, you want to get the Hardys on the card because you need some sort of massive names, especially since, with all due respect to AEW, their main event that we're going to talk about isn't exactly helping anything.
Yeah.
And on another note, I want to take this moment and say AEW has been succeeding when it came to ticket sales for Forbidden Door in Toronto. Sold out 13,000. Congratulations on that. They're selling tickets very well for the United Center in Chicago for Collision on Saturday, June 17th. That's quite a cult of personality. And they sold almost 70,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium for All In, which is going to be on Sunday, August 27th. However, Double or Nothing has been failing to sell tickets in Las Vegas, not Los Angeles, Las Vegas. Think about this. Last year, they had a seating of for 14,000 people. This year, for 9,000. They said they would put it up if ticket demands were there. However, no ticket demands were there because only 6,000 tickets have been sold, with still 3,000 remaining. Moving less than 100 tickets within a span of 2 to 3 weeks.
Oof.
And for one of your biggest pay-per-views in a market such as Las Vegas, why do I keep saying Los Angeles? What's wrong with Las Vegas? Yeah. Vegas. I'll just keep saying Vegas or something. I don't know.
Los Angeles. I don't know.
Las Venturas.
Yeah,
now we're in Grand Theft Auto. San Andreas. Okay, anyway. Back to what I was saying, though. I think, the reason why a lot of this is going on is not only because people even in Las Vegas are like, okay, we've had this event several times already. Can we please get something else? But also, for all other things, the amount of money you use to pay for things in Las Vegas, whether it's hotels, vehicles, travel, or get tickets for these events, have been spiking a lot.
Yeah.
So that could also play a factor into this. And truthfully, this is where I'm like, I get it. It's about gambling, and Las Vegas is the biggest place for gambling. So it makes sense to have Double or Nothing there on the regular. However, you're overdoing it. Just like they were overdoing All Out being in the Now Arena in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, since All In 2018.
Yep.
And I'm just saying, it's like, I get it. It's like tradition. Unfortunately, when you're just having only 2 of your pay-per-views going to different locations, like Revolution and Full Gear, and more recently, Forbidden Door at least. Forbidden Door is at least exploring other locations. They were at United Center in Chicago last year, and this year they're going to be at Scotiabank in Toronto, Canada. So, they're exploring their alternatives. And I also heard that there is going to be an All Out, probably in the same venue, a week after All In.
Interesting.
And for that case, I'm wondering myself, okay, is this going to be like, because I heard when it comes to Collision, they're splitting up the rosters half and half. So does that mean that maybe All In is a, I don't know what, a Dynamite show, and All Out is going to be a Collision show? Something like
I
that?
have no idea.
I don't know how that's going to work, or I don't know if this is still true, because it's still unconfirmed. However, there's a lot of heavy rumors, and Anthony Bowens of The Acclaimed had also confirmed that there was still going to be an All Out.
Yeah.
So when you hear one of the wrestlers literally say themselves without joking around or saying just kidding or I'm just trying to mess with you, that's when you're like, wait, we're really doing this? Okay. But of course, back to the conversation at hand. Ticket sales have been declining heavily when it comes to AEW in Las Vegas, and I believe a lot of that has to do with not just the fact that it's Las Vegas, the market is crazy, and the fact that Vegas is probably tired of getting the same thing over and over again, but also a lot of their matches in the build-up have been shit. Did you know that last week, before the end of last Wednesday, there was only 2 matches made official, and then that got bumped up to 9 within like less than 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You have build-ups for some of them, but you gotta put them on pay-per-view because it's called marketing. It's called business strategy. You do that, you sell more tickets. I don't even know how their ticket sales are doing lately, but I'm just hoping that they're at least going to have enough that they will have over 2/3 of the arena filled up. Because, it's one of your biggest pay-per-views. You want them to have, people that are going to be there. You want a full house.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's another gambling reference. Full House.
There you go.
There you go on that. That's also a nice show. Have you ever watched Full House?
I have.
Good. Funny stuff. All right, but anyways, you said the Hardys and Hook are going to win their opening match, and I'm honestly going to go Ethan Page and the Guns, because the whole thing about Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract. What if that isn't going to happen? So,
Yeah, exactly.
keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to talk about the next match, and this one I'm pretty sure we both have something to say. It's an unsanctioned match between Chris Jericho and Adam Cole, baby.
Okay, makes sense.
And there will be a special guest enforcer, and that's none other than ECW original Sabu.
Because why not?
Of course, Sabu's appearance caused a lot of controversy, which we are not going to discuss.
Just that? Nope.
Yeah. Although, why would Tony Khan ban someone for, saying racist stuff, but allow this guy for not even, saying I have regrets?
It's Tony Khan. It's wrestling. I don't know what's going on, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but you know what? That's not even our business. So, Adam Cole returned to action about a couple months ago after being gone since last year's Forbidden Door. My God, do you remember everything that he had to go through? That was just sad.
Yeah. Poor Adam Cole.
Yeah, the whole thing with because he could barely do anything. He couldn't leave his house for months at a time.
Nope.
For so much as simple, so something as small as going for a walk. Because, he suffered really bad injuries. Like, it was not just a severe concussion, but also brain trauma. This makes me wonder if he's ever, I get that he's okay now, but you got to be careful because these things could crop up again.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're doing absolutely nothing, all of a sudden these things could crop up. So I'm hoping that he has someone looking out for him every day, something like that, just to check up. Even so much as check up, saying, "Hey, how you feeling? Get any additional pain? Anything like this? Okay." Yeah. So, Adam Cole, Chris Jericho is going to compete in an unsanctioned match. They've had quite a number of brawls lately, and of course, the sudden arrival and debut of Roderick Strong.
Yawn.
Really? I honestly kind of thought that he was one of the best members of Undisputed Era.
Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, say hi. I mean, there's Bobby Fish, but he's in the pack with Roderick Strong, kind of. Roderick Strong, I like him and all, but he was boring.
Well, for me, I always thought of it as Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish.
That's rare. I respect that.
Yep. I mean, folks, where's the lie?
I don't know.
Absolute silence.
Exactly.
And I won't lie, Adam Cole, Chris Jericho, that's a type of match I've been wanting to see for a while, especially ever since Cole showed up in AEW back in 2021.
There you go.
So, the one thing I'm also thankful for is they actually built this up for a while. They did not just waste it for an episode of Dynamite.
Exactly.
Whew, because knowing Tony Khan, that's been done for a lot of things, but I'm assuming those are mistakes he'll never make again, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
This past Wednesday, they had a contract signing where they said no physicality. There was almost physicality. And then, of course, Adam Cole revealed that, there will be a special guest enforcer to ensure, that there will be violence. It's unsanctioned, and after all, that means this match basically doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Although, can I ask, what is it with Adam Cole competing in unsanctioned matches all the time?
I don't know.
There's been a lot of those lately.
Exactly.
Not just in AEW, but also WWE. They've had a number of unsanctioned matches recently, and I'm like, okay, you may want to slow down a bit.
There you go.
Just to make sure we're not overdoing this. However, I've got good feelings about this, because Jericho, I must say, at his age, could still put on a hell of a fight. And Adam Cole's one of the guys who I could see be moved up into becoming a champion either this year or next.
There you go.
I mean, would you like to see Adam Cole as, like, I don't know, the AEW champion or something like that?
Yeah, in many more years or when the video game comes out. Because that ain't happening in real life, I don't think.
I mean, the video game is actually coming out next month.
There you go. So what's going to happen in the video game?
AEW Fight Forever, folks, is going to be released on June 29th. So there you go.
Sweet.
So for those who've been waiting forever, conveniently, there you go. All you have to do is just wait another month. Then you can play the game. And unlike some other people, I'm not going to make such a big deal about the graphics because, honestly, it's their first game, and they're not intending it to look anywhere near as good quality as something like 2K.
There you go.
So, it is what it is. So, there we go. So, honestly, for this match, I don't know who to pick because I know any of these guys could win. I'll start with you, Willie. Who do you think's going to win?
Adam Cole.
Okay. Me, honestly, I think it could be Jericho. Knowing him, he's always got something up his sleeve.
That's fair.
So, never count him out. I mean, literally, you can't count him out in this match. It's unsanctioned. All right. So you go Adam Cole. I'm going for Jericho. That's 2 matches in a row. We picked different predictions. So I think that could be a good thing.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, we're going to keep this up for the rest of the night.
Maybe.
All right, we're going to move on to the last non-title match, and it's time to talk some Anarchy in the Arena. For the second year in a row, Anarchy in the Arena.
Yes.
You remember the crazy fight last year?
I do.
Oh my god, that was wild. Wild thing. You make my heart sing.
I've grown used to that song now.
Playing for 5 minutes when the match started. I like that it even looped at one point.
Yeah,
it ended only when Jericho broke the sound system.
There you go.
Probably because it wasn't his own music.
That's true.
Hey, you were supposed to play my music!
Exactly.
I could see Jericho doing something like that. In this case, it's the Blackpool Combat Club again. John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli taking on The Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Page. Oh, look, they made up.
Yeah, they did.
Although, I get it, they got a common... I'm thinking it's just they got a common enemy, and right now, it's like, okay, I'll team with you guys for now. But I'm just going my separate way after we're done here.
Hey, maybe.
Because, well... But then again, they never exactly... Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, they never exactly were hostile with each other. They just happened to fight each other based off of circumstances.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, after Hangman Page won the world title from Kenny Omega in 2021, they didn't exactly, feud like wild or anything.
Nah.
No, they didn't. Young Bucks, well, they're still there.
They are.
For this case, I'm going to wonder if they're going to have music playing throughout the Anarchy in the Arena for the first 5-10 minutes of the match. Maybe this time, instead of the wild thing, they should do Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas.
Yeah, I guarantee you they might do that.
Because, well, the Elite comes out to that now. That's their squad, or their faction entrance.
Yep.
So I think that would be hilarious. We'd be seeing a bunch of fights and you're hearing Carry On My Wayward Son. That'd be funny as hell. And that would also be something that the entire crowd could be singing along to, because that song is an absolute legendary classic.
Oh, it is.
So that's why I think it'd be the perfect thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
The Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite been feuding for a while, and I'm also thankful for one thing. When Kenny Omega took on Jon Moxley in a steel cage match a few weeks ago, I am thankful Kenny Omega did not break his fucking leg.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that V-trigger that broke the cage, his leg got caught in the ropes, and the way he landed, I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, dude.
He almost shattered his leg, almost broke it in half. That could have been worse for wear.
Mm-hmm.
When you're coming up on Forbidden Door, the last thing you would want is to have more injuries on your hand.
Exactly.
Because that happened. That happened throughout last year's Forbidden Door.
Yep.
Yeah. So in this case, I'm at least grateful that, nobody's severely hurt, but I guarantee practically everyone's going to bleed because it's Jon Moxley and it's Anarchy.
Exactly.
I guarantee Moxley's going to bleed when he's making his entrance.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but I could see it.
I mean, the last person who we know that bled before he made it to the ring was the Sandman.
And Goldberg.
Okay, that was an accident.
Still counts.
Speaking of Goldberg, he lacerated his head while working in the gardening, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
And here's the thing, folks, that can actually happen. So be careful out there if you're taking care of your yard work.
Yeah, for real.
So, when it came to last year's Anarchy in the Arena match, not only was practically everybody bleeding, but there was barbed wire, there was tables, there was chaos in the ring, outside the ring, in the concession stands. The ring was even torn apart, and there was even gasoline.
Yep.
I do wonder, what could they possibly do this time?
I honestly don't want to guess. I just want to sit down and see what happens.
Yeah, that's right, because last year was only gasoline, but they never set anything on fire, so I'm assuming they'll set something on fire this time.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, we don't want another Cody Rhodes misses the table while Andrade puts himself in.
Exactly.
So, who are you going to go for?
I'm gonna go with the Elite, honestly. Blackpool Combat Club don't need the win, honestly. I could see them getting the dub, but with that they've been beating down the Elite for months and months and months, I think it's best to give the Elite their due. Plus, Blackpool Combat Club, they won last year, right?
Yes, they did.
So yeah.
Actually, wait, no, they did not. Actually, Chris Jericho's Appreciation Society won last year.
Oh, well, still give the Elite the win this year.
Yeah, because last year it was the whole pro wrestling versus sports entertainment, and since Jericho's group won, sports entertainment technically beat pro wrestling.
Ugh.
I remember we were like, that's ironic.
Exactly.
Although in some ways I think I can understand why, you'd want someone to assert somebody to win, because one being Bryan Danielson, who has, let's be honest, has had one of the shittiest win-loss records in pay-per-view history.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest. Bryan Danielson has not won a match on pay-per-view since literally Full Gear 2021.
Exactly.
He has not won a pay-per-view match at all. As a matter of fact, that's his only pay-per-view win. He beat Miro to become #1 contender to the world title.
There you go.
And then for the entirety of 2022, lost, then he wasn't there, lost. Then this year, he lost to MJF for that Iron Man match. And if he loses again, I'm like, he's literally, he is one of the greatest of all time, but he doesn't exactly have a good record on his hands.
Nah.
But knowing Bryan Danielson, it ain't about all that.
Nah.
That's why I admired the dude.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, the Ring of Honor World Champion. Still?
Yeah.
Not bad. Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
Is he still the pure champion or not anymore?
I don't freaking know. He's boring as heck anyways.
Yeah, I won't lie. They seem to be doing something good with them, but it doesn't seem like a majority of the audience is that into it.
Yeah.
But he's at least progressing, so that's all that matters.
There you go.
The Elite,
I guess. Oh,
the Elite,
boring,
well, I think the Elite is going to probably have like some of their own awkward situations once CM Punk returns.
Joy. Can't wait. Counting down the days. Okay, I'm serious. All serious. I kind of can't wait to see Punk back. So there you go.
I tweeted out the way I posted it, folks, is I know it's coming. I ain't fond of it. I'd rather it did not happen, but it ain't my call, so I just have to accept it.
Exactly, dude.
And that's why I know my wing. I don't know what the fuck I said, but I know my way.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go Blackpool Combat Club because I think they could really use the win in this scenario. They lost at last year's Anarchy match, and it just feels weird that they're the ones competing in the Anarchy matches and losing all the time if they lose again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, there's that. Once again, 3 matches in a row, we've chosen different sides.
There you go.
All right, we're going to move on now to the championship matches taking place. There are 6 titles up for grabs. We're going to kick things off with the TBS Championships. Jade Cargill's taking on Taya Valkyrie, and Jade Cargill's probably going to win.
Jade Cargill's going to win. Next.
Okay, yeah, anyway. We're going to move on now to the Women's Championship, because let's be honest, we don't give a fuck about Jade Cargill's 500-day reign, and the fact that it hasn't been impressive whatsoever. So, moving on. The AEW Women's title is on the line, and this could be a lot more interesting. It's Jamie Hayter defending against Toni Storm. This is a match that took place last year's Owen Hart Foundation qualifiers. Heading into last year's Double or Nothing. Not to mention, Toni Storm is the one who, didn't she lose the title to Jamie Hayter?
Yeah.
Yep, at Full Gear. So, way I see it, Toni Storm got a win. Jamie Hayter got a win. This is technically the rubber match.
There you go.
All right. And if that's the case, we need to get right down to business, don't we?
There you go. Let's do it.
So, I will say that when it comes to this match, let's be honest, Jamie Hayter, because of her injuries that she's been apparently suffering every now and then, has not exactly had a good quality reign. She had some good matches in the women's titles, especially last year, this past Revolution, when she defeated not only, Ruby Soho, but also Saraya.
There you go.
But unfortunately, for a lot of the cases, she seems to have been... She kind of seems like she's in the back seat of her feud.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when you're in the back seat of your feud, that's not exactly a good thing.
Yeah. So
sometimes, in some ways, it's tough for me to really take her title reign seriously. She's been champion for 6 months. The same amount of time MJF's been world champion. We'll have a lot to say about him later. But, I don't know. I'm just not impressed.
Not her fault, and I blame Tony Khan for this.
Yeah, but I also blame the injuries. And that was, unfortunately, that's when it goes to, well, if it's minor injury every now and then, that's not her fault.
Exactly.
She's been hit with bad luck.
There you go.
So, Toni Storm, and let's be honest as well, Toni Storm, at least I'm glad they reversed the decision on having her be the interim women's champion. They decided, okay, that was a bad idea. Now it's official. So,
there you go.
I also wonder whether, whether it'd be a good idea to have Jamie retain the title, given the fact that she's been injury prone lately, or should Toni win it back, become the first ever 2-time women's champion.
Oh, I got my opinions on Tony Storm. Trust me, she is.
All right then. All right then.
Oh
I'll
man,
let you go ahead and air your grievances.
I like Tony Storm and all, but my goodness, like she has fallen from grace at this point. Just this whole thing of like the outcast, which is a stupid concept, stupid gimmick. I can't stand it. They're all insufferable. And I know like they're supposed to be heels, but it's basically get off my TV at this point, and it's not funny, it's not cool, it's not even heel heat worthy in my opinion. And yeah, and just it's insufferable.
I really
Jamie Hayter is champion. Just yeah.
Yeah, seems
Sad.
to me like I've even seen all the tweets. I've seen people are saying the women's division is going downhill with things like this, and also with all due respect, with all due respect to Saraya, she's the way she tweets and everything. It seems like she just can't take critics.
Dude, none of these wrestlers can take critics, honestly.
I don't understand that because I'm like, if you can't take criticism, you have to constantly bash out at almost everybody who actually says anything. Yeah, cuss them out too. Anybody who says anything remotely negative. I mean, if they're going a little overboard and making it severely personal, okay, then you can go back on that. That's fine. But so much as the match is not good, that was horrible, and everything. That's just my opinion of it. Lash it out saying, I like to see you try to do it. And at this moment, I'm like, okay, if you can't take criticism, no offense, you don't belong in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's reality, folks. If you are in pro wrestling and people are saying what you're doing sucks, if you're taking that personally, I can understand that. It's frustrating, but lashing out on every last bit of critique is when you're severely soft, you're severely sensitive, and you have no business being here.
Exactly.
It seems Saraya, since she showed up at Grand Slam last year, has not exactly done good at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I hope she's happy at least, but given the way she's been acting lately, especially on social media, I don't know if she's trying to stay in character or whatnot. It's tough for me to decipher, but to me, I ain't feeling it, man. I'm just not feeling it.
I haven't been feeling the women's division in like a very long time, and it's the booking, the injuries, the wrestlers themselves, the locker room, and all that stuff, and people getting ousted for no reason, and just fights being started by dentists and stuff like that, and just I swear, man, just this locker room's insufferable. Poor Jamie.
Are you referring to the Thunder Rosa situation?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's another thing. It seems that there's a lot to the Thunder Rosa situation than we first thought.
Well, there is, but I'm not going to say everything I want to say on here, because first of all, I want to get fired, and second of all, YouTube will take Christian down, so yeah, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on that situation.
Yeah, besides, we want to keep to what's going on at Double or Nothing, and Thunder Rosa ain't there, Britt Baker ain't there, Saraya ain't there, it's Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. These are the two women who are in the spotlight, so they're the ones we should be discussing.
Yep.
But of course, yeah, Toni Storm is part of the Outcasts, and I think the reason... here's the thing. I've not exactly kept up a lot, but I'm assuming the reason they're called the Outcasts is not just because they've not exactly been booked good in AEW, but they were not booked that great in WWE.
Do you want a cookie, Christian? There's your cookie. That's exactly what's going on.
Ah, very nice. Although I'd rather get oatmeal raisin cookies, please.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Thank you. I've been trying to get on a good diet.
There you go.
Excellent. So, I don't know what to think about this one because I'm not interested with the whole thing with the Outcast with Toni Storm. And Jamie Hayter's not been doing it for me as the women's champion. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that she's been getting a lot of bad luck. And some of the matches I've seen just haven't been that good. Maybe I've just been looking at the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Maybe I should keep on looking or something. Or maybe they'll both surprise us at least with a good contest at Double or Nothing.
There you go.
So, who are you going to go for?
Sleep. That's what I'm going for. Sleep. Because I don't care, sadly. I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter to retain. That's about it.
Honestly, same. I'll go Jamie Hayter to retain. All right, well, we were having on separate ends, but we now have a common prediction.
There you go.
All right, we're going to move on now to the next match. And this is a ladders match. And it's for the AEW TNT Championship. This is where things get a very, very interesting. The champion, Wardlow. Wait, Wardlow's champion? We're positive Wardlow is champion, right?
I think so.
Because last I heard it was Powerhouse Hobbs, and then it was Wardlow, and then it was this guy, and then it was that, and then it was Wardlow again, and I don't know what the hell is going on. We're positive that it's Wardlow, right?
Yeah, I think it's Wardlow.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the 24/7, the TNT Championship has been changing hands a lot lately.
Exactly.
But anyway, he's defending against Christian Cage in a ladder match. And I'm like, are we sure this is a good idea for Christian to be in a ladder match right now?
There you go.
I mean, it's kind of funny. He's in a ladder match this year after he got buried alive last year at the last place at Revolution.
There you go.
I will admit that was still funny. The whole thing with him and Jungle Boy with the buried alive match.
Yeah,
it was actually it was actually a mixture of a casket and a buried alive match because he had to put him in the casket first, close the lid, and then drop him.
I thought it was a casket match. I ain't gonna lie. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's a casket match. Nope.
And I was like, wait a minute. When they have casket matches, they just call it a coffin match. There's something else here. And then you look and you're like, oh, it's above a burial site. It's going to drop. Okay, I get it now. Christian, as we all know, is one of the masters of the ladders match. He's got Luchasaurus by his side here, too. So that he could also play a factor. Wardlow, he's just got Arn Anderson.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know why.
Knowing Arn Anderson, he goes out and about, does his own thing with whoever he wants.
Yeah.
I'm at least looking forward to what they could do because Wardlow has had in history with ladders, too.
Yep.
So he's not exactly a stranger to this sort of thing. They've won the Face of the Revolution's ladder match at Revolution in 2022, which conveniently also involved Christian Cage.
Yeah.
So he's had some history here and there. And then, of course, Christian, you want the long version or the Stephen King novel version?
Stephen King novel version, dude.
Oh my god, that is a long one. That's the long one to read.
Go for it. We got all day.
No, I unfortunately do not have all day. So I will say, for this one, it's tough. But no, I could say that Wardlow could just retain the title, but knowing the fact that the TNT title has been changing hands like it's the 24/7 championship, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So, and I get it, and people are trying to defend it saying it's a TV title. I'm like, that's funny. You got a TV title that always changes hands every now and then you got another TV title that has never changed hands.
What is next? What's next? Collision gonna get their own freaking belt?
Knowing them, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Or Rampage will just shut down.
That's probably going to happen in about 5 months. No, I'm kidding. That's mean.
Probably, because let's be honest, that has been a complete fail in everything.
Yeah.
Hasn't been worth the watch.
Yeah.
All right, so based off his history, I'm actually going to go Christian Cage.
I don't know who to go with, honestly, because like that belt's irrelevant. So screw it. I'm gonna say Wardlow. Why not? Just to be the odd man out again. Okay. Why not? Wardlow. I love Wardlow. I don't like his booking, but I like Wardlow.
I wonder if anyone's gonna get involved in this sort of situation.
Luchasaurus. He's probably gonna screw Christian over.
That could be possible, so keep an eye out on that, folks.
Yep.
We're gonna move on now for the AEW World Tag Team Championship as FTR finally, Jesus Christ, finally your champions.
Exactly.
Are defending against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett again?
Yes.
Jeff Jarrett is involved in the tag team title for the second pay-per-view in a row. I will admit though, props to him. That dude's that dude's old, and yet he's still going about it. He's like 55 years old. He could still go.
There you go.
So I'm at least give him some leeway here because, he's performed very well and he can at least put on some good matches, and he's been on a full-time. So I'd say he's a full-time athlete. So if he's to win a title, I'd say it's deserved. 'Cause, he's been on a full-time. So I'd say he's a full-time athlete. So if he's to win a title, I'd say it's deserved. 'Cause, he's been on a full-time. So I'd say he's a full-time athlete. So if he's to win a title, I'd say it's deserved.
Yeah.
But the champions right now are FTR. They should not lose the titles this quickly after winning them less than 2 months ago.
I forgot they won them anyways.
Yeah, they won it. They won the tag team titles literally like 2 days before your birthday.
That's right. They did. I don't remember that until you just said that.
It was 3 days before my birthday. I remember. That's the only reason I remember when they did it, because our birthdays were near and WrestleMania had just passed.
Yep.
I was literally stuck in the airport when it happened.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I remembered, because I was stuck in an airport in Detroit for like 6 hours.
There you go.
And that always is annoying when that happens.
I haven't been on a plane since 2005.
I've been on 8 planes in a 2-week span.
Oh, jeez.
Because, 2 flights. Okay, I'll just be quick on this. I flew from Buffalo to like New York City, and then from there to Norfolk, Virginia. Then I went and got my bro Josh. Then we got back to Norfolk to get on the next plane the following day. We flew from there back to New York City, and then we flew there to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, back to New York City, and then New York City, back to Norfolk, and then I left once again, Norfolk to Detroit, Buffalo. Boom, 8.
Wow.
Hell of a time.
There you go.
Anyway, I will give props once again, like I mentioned, to Jeff Jarrett for actually putting on good matches lately. I even took a moment, sat down, and watched a couple of them over the last couple of months, and he's been doing really good, so I'll give him that. Jay Lethal? So-so. I'd say he's so-so.
Yeah, pretty much.
And of course, Karen Jarrett is now part of AEW.
For like that one segment, I don't think she signed.
No, she's apparently here. She's said to be in the corner of the double J and JL.
The double J and JL. That's a mouthful.
Double JJL, double JJL, double JJL. I could say it a little bit faster.
Yeah, JJL. There you go.
JJL?
Yeah, JJL.
Who the hell is that?
Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal.
Wouldn't that be JJJL?
What did I say? JJJL?
No, you said JJL, like 2 J's and an L.
Oh, okay, so JJJL.
Yeah. triple JL, got it.
Yeah, triple JL.
But yeah, here's what I predict though. Triple J is gonna take the L.
Yeah, they are.
Get it? Oh, and also another thing to note, folks, there's a special guest referee, and it's Mark Briscoe.
He has reasons. No, Lily, what's the reason?
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to try my best not to sound too disrespectful here, but I really think they're milking up Mark Briscoe just because his brother passed away this year.
Yeah, and I freaking hate that stuff. Ugh.
And I'm like, it's very sad that this happened. I really hope the Briscoe family is doing good right now. I really hope that they've been healing ever since the tragedy in January with that car accident that killed Jay. But it seems AEW is milking Mark Briscoe a little too much and exposing him a little too much just because they feel bad that his brother died. That's just my opinion of it. I might say, here's the thing. Showcasing him in big time matches, at least in the early times of the grieving, I can understand that, especially, the tribute episode and everything. That's to be expected. But I've seen him so far all over the place from AEW, especially, considering the fact that, let's see, Evolution, he was prominent in a tag team match. We took on Aria Davari, the varsity athletes. I'm not saying it's entirely bad that they're using him. It just seems that they're shoving him into situations a little too much here. That's all.
That's fair. I respect that.
Just slow it down just a little bit. Now we're good to go.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm just also grateful for is they're not throwing so many championships at him, all because of what went down.
Yeah. Which is great. He's in AEW. I hope he's having a good time.
Yeah, I really hope so too. But most importantly, I just hope that he's okay, because I don't know. I could never understand what it's like to lose a brother. You know what I mean?
I feel that, dog.
I don't want to know what it's like, but I'm pretty sure at some point in life, maybe it could happen. I just hope when it does happen, I'm also on my way out too, because I'm in my freaking 80s.
There you go.
Anyway. So, like I mentioned, FTR for the win. I'm presuming that's what you're doing?
FTR.
All right. With that being said, we're going to move on. We have 2 more matches left to discuss, and this is going to be the first one, and this is a Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship. And this time, it's not a casino Battle Royal, it's a Blackjack Battle Royal. As Orange Cassidy is defending against 20 challengers, and here are the 20 challengers. Ricky Starks, The Butcher, The Blade, Bandito, Commander, Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Arya Daivari, Tony Nese, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Kip Sabian, Ray Phoenix, Pento Zeromero, Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Dustin Rhodes, and Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. Remember he was something?
Yeah.
That's long.
Now he's whatever the hell. Whatever the hell that is. In this case, how about this? Since there are literally 20, how about we'll put in our top 3 picks?
All right.
I'll start. If we're talking, so basically, how about this? If Orange Cassidy is one of your picks, like someone to retain, then he doesn't count as one.
There you go.
If there are 3 challengers out of the list, and if you need me to go about the names again, I can tell you. But right now, my top 3 challengers to pick would be, let's see, Swerve Strickland, Jay White, Ricky Starks.
I'm going to go with Ricky Starks. I'm going to go with Jay White. And I'm going to go with Bandito.
Okay. But I also believe Orange Cassidy could retain.
Same here.
And I'm going to put it out here. While a lot of AEW's champions have been lacking lately, Orange Cassidy has been one of the most prominent champions and one of their best champions today.
Sorry.
27 title defenses in a 220-plus day reign.
Not bad.
That's fucking amazing, including one this past Wednesday.
Not bad.
So there's that to think about. The international title used to be known as the All-Atlantic title. I don't know why the hell I think they changed the name because All-Atlantic just didn't sound that cool.
There you go.
Especially when you realize that, I'm like, okay, a majority of these countries that are on the title are not even from the Atlantic.
There you go.
The International Championship, because I don't think they wanted to say Intercontinental Championship, even though they could. It's not like WWE owns the rights to an Intercontinental title.
Hey, friggin' New Japan had the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, for God's sake. So
yeah,
IC title. Other companies have it.
International, I don't know. It just seems another. International also just kind of seems like another way of saying world title.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something outside the United States.
Okay, then call it the well, there already is a North American title. Never mind.
North American, South American, African, Asian, Antarctican. Could you imagine if they defended a title in Antarctica?
Imagine a wrestling show in Antarctica.
I don't know how the hell that would work.
You just put the wrestlers out there, put them in a heated ring, and then bundle up the audience, and you're good.
No, I don't think that would work.
Anyways, about the polar bears and the ice, and that's
but the other question I have regarding this is, how does a Blackjack Battle Royal work? Because I'm pretty sure this is not going to be exactly like, like the Casino Battle Royal.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, another thing some people have been questioning and predicting about on social media is who's going to be the Joker. And I'm like, have you ever played Blackjack in your life?
Exactly.
There are no jokers in Blackjack. Otherwise, why are we calling it that?
Exactly.
If there was going to be a joker. Here's the thing. The other question is, are they all going to be in the ring at the same time? Or... Because I don't think they're going to do the whole... you're entering by the card suit you draw, because that's not what you do in blackjack.
Yeah.
So that's how it's played. The whole thing about blackjack is you got to get to 21. And there's 21 people in the match. 1 champion, 20 challengers. So this is why I asked myself, like, is this going to be just like your average battle royal where everybody's in the ring at once? Is it going to have some modified Royal Rumble rules to it, or not really? We don't know. That's the other reason why it's interesting, because we don't know how a blackjack battle royal works, or it could just very well just be your average battle royal with a name added in.
There you go.
Regardless, Orange Cassidy has a massive task on his hand, and I think he could very well get it done. But just imagine if he gets eliminated first.
I'll laugh.
At least we'll know we're guaranteed a new champion now.
There you go.
That's always exciting. So, you picked Ricky Starks, Jay White, and Bandito. I picked Ricky Starks, Jay White, and Swerve Strickland.
There you go.
And we each also believe Orange Cassidy could get the job done, so add that to the mix. We picked the 1 champion, and we picked 3 challengers. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, sounds good.
And now it's time to talk the main event. The big hyped up main event that actually, okay, it was hyped up, yes. Kind of built up in ways that were really weird. But overall, this main event that's coming up is not only one of the most predictable I've ever seen in AEW, but also it just has not been a selling point. A fatal 4-way for the AEW World title involving the 4 pillars of AEW: MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara. First off, how the hell are they the 4 pillars?
Well, according to Tony Khan, like, I don't know. I guess, like, they were chosen, like, you know how the 4 pillars thing works in wrestling, I guess, like the 4... Wouldn't the Elite be the 4 pillars, technically? Like the young veteran... Like, I know what the young pillars, like, is, like, the young veterans, like, build the company around, but, like, wouldn't that be, like... I don't know.
Young veterans, the company's been building it around. If that'd be the case, then these guys are definitely not it. MJF absolutely could be one of them. But no offense, Sammy Guevara has not. This company's not exactly been building around him. Has not been building around Jungle Boy. And maybe tiny, just a little bit, yes, for Darby Allin. So you got 1 1/4 correct.
So they're not the 4 pillars.
The way I see it, they don't look like the 4 pillars to me. The 4 pillars, I'd really say, is Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, John Moxley, and MJF.
MJF.
Yeah. In my opinion, those are the 4 pillars. MJF, Chris Jericho, John Moxley, Kenny Omega.
Yeah, that's the 4 pillars.
I don't know how the hell that these other guys got into it. All there was, okay, Sammy Guevara, he was one of the first they were some of the first signees. I get them that. That doesn't mean shit. They're not the ones who built it. Here's the thing, if you're a pillar, it means you're keeping the company up in the air. You're keeping it's like you're the pillars that keep the building afloat. They have not done that. Maybe except maybe MJF a couple times. Darby Allin, almost, maybe. Jungle Boy, not at all. Sammy Guevara, hell no! With all due respect to Sammy Guevara, because, well, he's a good guy. He's chill. He's cool. However, no, I don't regard him as a freaking pillar of AEW. I don't get the whole point of that. Like, it seems like they just picked 4 random guys and said, you guys are the pillars of this company.
Yeah, I know this stupid comparison to make. Like, think of, like, if NXT were had the 4 pillars of NXT. Like, who would you put as the 4? I know it's weird to say that, but, like, who would you have as, like, the 4 pillars of NXT?
Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins.
There you go.
And I get it. They were some of the first that really put the NXT to the high places it's been now.
There you go.
So I really refer to those guys mostly as the 4 pillars of NXT.
There you go.
And, like, in this case, let's see. Jungle Boy, former tag team champion, had a hell of a team with Luchasaurus. at that point, I'm asking myself, well, why isn't Luchasaurus a pillar if he's also going to be around here? Because Jungle Boy spent practically all his time with Luchasaurus up until last year.
Exactly. And where's the 4 pillars of the women's division? I don't. Let's not answer that question.
Darby Allin.
I mean,
Darby Allin. He's the longest reigning TNT champion because he actually held it for over 6 months. So he did pretty good on that. And yes, he also had a team with Sting for. Does he still have it? I believe. I think he does.
I think he does. I don't know. Sting's somewhere in the rafters, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
And Sammy Guevara, for the most part, has just been Chris Jericho's sidekick. And I get it. Record time, 3-time TNT champion. However, majority of the time, he's just been a sidekick. He has not exactly been somebody who would be considered you look at the guy and you'd be like, you're a pillar who's keeping this company afloat. I thank you very much. Nobody looks at Sammy Guevara and thinks that's the dude.
That's fair.
MJF,
that's true,
without a doubt, has been one of the top heels in AEW history, even before he won the world title. We were campaigning for him to be world champion for almost 2 years now.
Yep.
Because not only did he go wild, but he was also a hell of a draw. He was quite the guy who was selling tickets. And, well, he's had memorable clashes, not just in matches, but in promos. That's why we would consider him absolutely as a pillar that's keeping the company afloat, because he's one of the top guys. If you're a pillar, you're literally one of the top guys that are keeping the place afloat. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, you look at them, no, they're not the ones.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's stupid that you would consider any of those 3 to be a pillar in AEW. I'm like, you think of a pillar, someone who's keeping it afloat. That's why we thought to ourselves, Jericho, Moxley, Omega.
Yeah, because they're the actual 4 pillars. And I understand why they're calling Tony calls them the 4 pillars, like the young pillars who lead the company into the future. That's fine, but
unfortunately they haven't.
Yeah, it's not
Sammy
happening.
Guevara,
It's like,
absolutely
the company's
not.
still young. People say, the company's young. Yeah, they're young. That's fine, but even then,
here's the thing, if they're young, then here's the thing. It's like putting small pieces of wood on top of a massive building. That's going to collapse.
Yeah.
What you need to keep your building afloat is 4 people who are not only going to help put this into the future, but also have had experience with this sort of thing. And that's why I would say Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, and yes, MJF. I'd regard them as the real 4 pillars. I think what Tony Khan said about these other guys being the 4 pillars was just stupid. That's just and not only was that stupid, but the build-up to this whole thing was also stupid. Because, tell
him.
Okay, MJF had a Reba Mitzvah. Woo! And then it was interrupted by Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, and Darby Allin. All 3 of them said, we want a title shot. And then what happened was, okay, let's have a tournament. A 4 pillars tournament. Sammy Guevara will take on Jungle Boy, while Darby Allin gets a bye. The winners will face each other in the finals, and the winner of that match will face off against MJF at Double or Nothing. Sammy Guevara beats Jungle Boy by countout. Then he beat Darby Allin by disqualification because he was in cahoots with MJF. To the point where they literally just made out.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Fine with me.
I mean, I got no problem with that, everything. But, isn't Sammy Guevara, married?
Yeah.
And MJF was recently divorced?
Yeah.
Boy, that's going to be awkward. Anyway. So, as a result, Sammy Guevara, by those technicalities, won the right to face MJF. But then they decided, nah, you're going to face Jungle Boy and Darby Allin in a tag team match. And if they win, we're going to make this a fatal 4-way. And I'm like, for one thing, you should have made this a fatal 4-way in the first place, because that's what the audience was clamoring for.
Exactly.
So yeah, for a couple weeks, okay, now they're going to do this. I'm like, no, you should have just done this from the very beginning. Because the whole thing was built up to that. And you said, no, we're going to have only one challenger face MJF. That was all taken away, all because of the circumstances of how Sammy Guevara got there. I'm like, seriously, you couldn't have just done this.
Exactly.
So that's why it was very frustrating for that. And I'm like, well, that was pointless. Jungle Boy and Darby Allin won that tag match, and now here we are. Fatal 4-way for the AEW World title.
Yep.
So there we go on that. And another thing I want to take note on is MJF is kind of like Roman Reigns without the actual selling factor.
That's basically what his gimmick is. Like, he's kind of like,
he's a part-timer.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're showing up every week, but you're not wrestling every week, hell, he has his last match was his Iron Man match with Bryan Danielson almost 3 months ago.
There you go.
That means he hasn't defended his title in almost 90 days.
There you go.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
It's bad enough that we got Roman Reigns doing that over here.
Yep.
So, this is why I'm like, MJF, over the past course, has had like 25, 30 matches since 2022.
That's wild, dude. What the heck?
Yeah, so there's that to think about. With all due respect, and lately his promos have kind of been getting a little stale because it's kind of the same thing, just like his feuds with even the likes of Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Jericho, and Wardlow, they've all been the same.
There you go.
This is the one occasion where things are different, and that's a good thing. We got different directions because we got 3 challengers here. He's in cahoots with Sammy Guevara for a while. We all know that ain't going to last because they need to do something in order to build this whole thing up. But, unfortunately, they're trying to hype this up as this is perhaps a massive main event with the 4 pillars of the company. And unfortunately, you take a look at them and you're like, no, these guys are not the 4 pillars. This guy is, the rest of them, no. Now, I'll be honest, if this was a 4-way between MJF, Moxley, Omega, and Jericho, oh my god, that absolutely would sell.
There you go.
And of course, with CM Punk probably coming back, they'll find a way to reignite his feud with MJF and probably have him win the world title again.
Please don't put that out there.
Seriously.
Shouldn't have happened. But that's just me.
No, should not have happened at all. Hangman Page should have held that title. Hangman Page should have held that title until he lost it to MJF.
Yeah.
That's what we were going for a year ago.
Yep. I still stand by that. I don't care anybody. I still stand by that. Hangman should have lost to MJF.
I agree. He should have.
But it is what it is. At least Hangman's on the card this year, so that's good.
Yeah, he's going to be part of the Anarchy match. That should be cool. The main event, while a lot of the matches, like I mentioned, some look good, others look very skippable. When you have your main event look lesser than that of other matches on the card, you got a problem.
People say, like, oh, well, y'all are putting down the main event like it's nothing. Like,
kind of is nothing.
It should be. I'm excited. I'm excited, but, like, there's no hype for me going into the main event. There was, like, 3 weeks ago.
The real hype about this is based off the fact that these guys are the 4 pillars of the company. And I'm like, I take a look at this and I just can't take it seriously. I can't take Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, or Sammy Guevara seriously as pillars that are keeping the company afloat. Because if they would be released or something like that, if they go somewhere else, nope.
I'm a big Darby Allin fan, so that really, it's man, it's wild, bro.
Yeah, but the others, they could be released from the company, or in some people's cases, they're still hoping Sammy Guevara gets fired, even though he did nothing wrong in terms of business.
Yeah.
They just think he's a bad person in general. However, I'm not somebody who thinks that at all.
Darby Allin too. They think he's a bad person, but oh well. Yeah.
MJF, well, he has no problem. Like he's done really good at portraying the heel even outside the company, so I give him points on that.
Just looking this up right now, Christian. Apparently, MJF's the one who pitched the whole idea for this match to happen. Storyline wise, he's the one who pitched it. So,
I mean, there you go.
World champion won it. The world champ got what he wanted.
He wanted. Unfortunately, the other guys should have been pushed to a prominent position to the point where, if they are indeed the ones who are keeping the company afloat for the future, then you should really portray them as such, and they have not done that.
Treat him as like the face of the company, where it's like, I haven't told this to my crew. It's like, who even is the face of this company? Like, I thought it was John Moxley, and then like, is it him? Is it Punk? Like, who's the face of the company?
Is it Kenny Omega?
Omega, like, is MJF? Because MJF would be the focal point of the story and the focal point of the show, since he's the heel, and since he is the world champion usually sometimes basically not all the time, obviously, but you need that big guy of like going up there and being the face of the company, being on the posters, being on the billboards, being all that kind of stuff, going out there and doing all that kind of stuff. Like, they don't really showcase that because they don't really have one outside of, in my opinion, a John Moxley.
Yeah, I was about to say that. To me, it's John Moxley. I'd say John Moxley is the face of AEW. He's the heart and soul of the company. That's a guy who I would really consider one of the pillars of the company.
Yeah, exactly.
The pillars of the company is supposed to be keeping it afloat. And these guys have not been doing that. Moxley, absolutely. Especially from last year. Do you remember last year was a hell of a year for Moxley?
Some people would say Punk like is a pillar, but like no, because Punk came in like 2 years ago. He's not a pillar.
Punk came in 2021. Was heavily protected for good reason. I can understand that, but then got himself into a lot of trouble. He could have been in a better role. And also, not to mention, he also did suffer the bad luck of injury, so we can't put that aside.
Punk's also getting up there in age. Like, we just gotta admit it. Like, our heroes getting up there in age,
Yeah.
He ain't a spring chicken.
I mean, I wouldn't exactly say, like, age would play a factor because I labeled Jericho as one of the pillars.
It's true, yeah, Jericho, yeah.
But I just don't look at the guys as the pillars, and I don't see this as a big deal. Like, as if WWE went forward to having, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch in a 4-way, that'd be the 4 pillars, the 4 horsewomen of the women's division. That would be a much bigger deal than this ever could, because absolutely they were the 4 pillars who brought in a new age of the women's division.
Yeah, be like Brock Lesnar, Batista, John Cena, and Randy Orton.
Yeah, they brought in the whole thing with the ruthless aggression. I get Brock Lesnar eventually left. However, still really counts. Those 4 guys were the essence that really brought in the future of the ruthless aggression era, then later on the PG era.
Exactly.
Roman Reigns is the face of WWE. That's a fact. We all know that.
Exactly.
And of course, it took a while for him to actually find something that was working out for him. But regardless of whether or not people liked him, he was still one of the most talked about guys in the whole company.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where's the focal point of? Where's the focal point of like the face of the company in all elite wrestling? That's my thing. Like, there's not really a central piece for me personally. There's not really a central focal point of anyone in the company. That's my big deal.
I don't really think that they were trying to do that. Actually, I think AEW tried to seem a little different. Like, let me ask you this: who's the face of Impact Wrestling? Do we know that?
The face of Impact Wrestling right now? Like, now or like back in the day?
Now.
Now? Good question.
Good question indeed.
Steve Macklin, he's the world champ over there.
He was a recent world champion and wasn't exactly around that long.
Josh Alexander, probably?
I don't know. Maybe.
The last one for me was AJ Styles. Because that was a long time ago, though.
I would honestly, for a while, go as far as to say Mickie James at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. People like that. Like, that's, you need that the central focus point of the company. It's like, I know it sounds like, oh, you're just burying the 4 pillars. Like, no, we're not burying the 4 pillars. Like,
we're not burying them. We just don't understand why they're called that.
Yeah. I never understood from the very beginning of AEW. It's like 4 pillars. Like, shouldn't that be like John Moxley and stuff like that? See, he's the face. In my opinion, he's the face of the company. Absolutely. He is. So,
throughout the Ruthless Aggression era, I would actually say, because Brock Lesnar was out of it since like 2004, I'd say if we would have to replace him, I'd say John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Edge.
There you go.
I would consider them as the 4 pillars of that type of era of WWE. But if we're talking all time, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, John Cena.
There you go.
And so a lot of people would say, well, that's your Mount Rushmore. I'm like, well, yes, but they were pillars. And if one of them had to step down as a pillar, someone else took the place.
Oh, exactly.
AEW, of course, yes, is still a young company. They turned 5 years old. Actually, 4 years old, sorry. Congratulations to them on the 4 years. But,
What? Shit.
yeah, 2019. However,
Happy birthday.
no matter what, I just after like almost half a decade, I can't see Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, or Darby Allin as believable pillars of the company keeping it up. Mostly because Darby Allin was mostly a guy just hanging out with Sting, and that wasn't doing well for him. He did have a good feud going on with him when he was the first match with CM Punk, but after that, he just kind of fell back.
He dwindled down, and it's sad. Like,
Sammy Guevara,
dude, I used to be hot.
Sammy Guevara, when the Inner Circle started, I had hypes for this because I'm like, okay, you got Sammy Guevara working with Jericho. He's going to help propel him up. He didn't. He was just continuing to be a lackey for Jericho for years. And even when he was TNT champion, he was still just taking a back seat while Jericho got all the praise.
Yeah, exactly.
Jungle Boy, majority of the time, Jurassic Express, great tag team, catchy music, love it. But if you want to consider Jungle Boy's a pillar, why is Luchasaurus not?
I don't know.
Because they were together for the whole time. Then last year they feuded. Jungle Boy went from his feud with Christian to now being in the world title. So he actually does seem to have a path going on for him. It's just a shame it took him all this time to finally have a path put on for him. Because if you're trying to make him to like Jungle Boy Jack Perry, if you want to make him as one of the top stars, here's another thing that he apparently has a problem with. He has a problem. He has anxiety issues, which I can understand. I have anxiety issues too, and it sucks. But he's not exactly that comfortable with. He's not a fan of cutting promos for long periods of time. And if you want to be a top, if you want to talk, being one of the top guys of the company, one of the pillars, well, here's the thing: you got to do it because wrestling is about storytelling. You can't just put on these guys against these guys and hope that the audience is just gonna fall in love with it. That's not how it works in wrestling.
Like, you hit the nail on the head, bro. Like, I know, like, oh, well, y'all went away from, like, the match itself. Like, hey, we're just talking about, like, what people are, not really bringing up about the whole match, like the whole four pillars storyline.
And besides, we'll get to the match in the moment. We just had quite a lot to say regarding the idea that this is about the four pillars. So the subject is about the four pillars.
Because there is no four pillars outside of an MJF. Because MJF, like, he's been, like, I know it's like people saying, like, oh, well, he's been built from the start. Yeah, I know. That's why he's one of them. And so have the others. But, like, MJF, like, he went further, I guess is the wording.
The thing is, MJF captured the attention of people and actually was a massive draw. That's the difference. The others,
so, like,
not at all.
Darby Allin did that. Darby didn't do that, sadly. He was going to, and then they took the rug right out from under him for some reason. I don't know why. Same with Sammy.
If this whole thing with Sting lasted at least 1 year, then perhaps yes. But it's been still going on since 2020.
Still going.
Still going. Jungle Boy, majority of his time was a tag team with Luchasaurus, and there's nothing wrong with, of course, being one of the best tag team guys of all time. That's kudos to him on that. The problem is, I'm like, if you're considering him a pillar, why is Luchasaurus not one too when they've been together all the damn time? Not to mention, Jurassic Express has not been about Jungle Boy. It's the story of a boy and his dinosaur, and honestly, the dinosaur has been showing a lot crazy athleticism to the point where I'm looking more at him. Because I'm like, dude, you're like 6'5" and you're able to do this?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, holy shit, dude. And then you look at Jungle Boy, I'm like, oh, obviously you can do this. You're Jungle Boy. You're like Tarzan or something. So I'd expect you to do crazy high-flying maneuvers and whatnot. So, there you go. That's the difference with him. Sammy Guevara, my God. I've watched, thanks to our bro Connor Riley, we got introduced to him a couple years before AEW existed.
2017, I remember it well. 2016 for me, technically. Yes, 2016.
Yeah, we were impressed with the way he does, and we were amazed at his performance and his dedication to wrestling. So when he went to AEW, I'm like, oh my god, this could be a chance, a great chance. And then when they were labeling him as one of the pillars of the company, I'm like, oh, they got something good for him. Started off well with the Inner Circle, and I'm like, if Sammy started progressing more on his own, and then eventually just walking out from leaving Jericho, and then going out and doing his own thing, Jericho, in my opinion, was supposed to propel him up, not put him behind him.
Exactly.
The problem is, when Sammy Guevara finally went out on his own, people could care less. That's the problem.
Understandably so, obviously, for obvious reasons, but it's just a big bundle of mess. Like, just calling them the four pillars, in our opinion. Now, you guys obviously might have opinions out there, and we respect them. We totally respect them. Like, don't think we're going after them. We just don't get this whole four pillar story. Just like Christian said, we just don't get this whole four pillar storyline and why they're called the four pillars. Like, it's just
all but MJF have not done a thing to be warranted as a pillar at the company.
Yeah. Like, outside of any of these four men, I mean, the current world champ, is the world champion, but I look at Darby Allin as like the next world champ. I hope it still happens. Jungle Boy, same way. I used to look at that guy. I'm like, you know what? He's gonna become the world champ one day. It's gonna happen. I don't know, man. Like, just I hope the future is great for them. Like, just calling them the four pillars. Nah.
One thing I could just hope for is that, actually, I'm just going to flat out say this. I guarantee once this whole thing is done, it's a battle of the four pillars. I believe MJF's just going to win this match, and we're all just going to move on our own separate ways like it never even happened.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's going to happen. Like, they're going to be Jungle Boy's going to go back to, like, I guess maybe finding his way back to his dinosaur. Sammy Guevara's going to go back with being Jericho's buddy. And then Darby's going to go back hanging with Sting in the rafters. And MJF's going to find his next opponent, which will probably be, I don't freaking know. I'll throw it out there. I predict after this whole thing, his next opponent's going to be Adam Cole. Why not? Whatever. I'm just throwing a name out.
Well, also think about the fact that, he could potentially have an opponent for Forbidden Door, probably somebody from Japan. So think about that for a moment.
There you go.
And if that be the case, well, I don't know who I'd pick. For that case, for Forbidden Door, that's more of just a crossover event where you can just pit these guys against these guys and they'd be totally fine because it's a special type of event. It's a crossover thing. Storylines are not exactly a priority for that one.
There you go.
That's why I'm just excited for that one. And also, it's in Toronto, an AEW pay-per-view in Toronto, and I'm excited to see New Japan for the first time ever.
There you go.
So yeah, we both predict MJF's going to win this Pillars match because he's the only legitimate pillar here. And because nobody else out of the three challengers, are believably going to beat him to become world champion. That's not happening. It's obvious. So, when you have a main event that's not only not that good and kind of weird on the build-up, but also has an obvious winner, you have a problem. That's another reason why I believe these ticket sales have been a fail.
Yeah.
Then you will look at these guys, put them as the four pillars, and expect everybody to just fall in love with it. And everybody, on the other hand, is just asking constant questions like, why should we fall in love with it? You haven't given us a reason.
Yeah.
MJF, perhaps. The others, no. That's unfortunate. But that's where we are. That's where we are. That's our opinion of it. That's the way we believe it's going. So, hopefully they put on a hell of a four-way match that blows our minds away, because that's the only thing out of this that could ever happen.
I think it's going to be a great match. Like, this is what I've been saying. Like, no offense to AEW. No offense. This is why this week belongs for me. Like, this week for me belongs to TakeOver, NXT. Like, I have more eye for NXT than even Night of Champions. Like, no matter what you choose this week, I have this saying, and Chris, you don't want this, just enjoy the wrestling at the end of the day. And there's things as constructive criticism, obviously, is what we're doing. We point out the obvious of any company. Doesn't even have to be wrestling. Constructive criticism, is allowed.
Precisely.
Yep. Oh yeah, MJF's gonna win, by the way.
Yeah.
MJF's gonna win.
for some of the matches, we had quite a bit to talk about. For some, we only had a couple of seconds for one of them.
Yeah, man.
And but for the main event, we had quite a lot to say about it because a lot of it we just didn't understand. We have a lot to say. And overall, though, I'm pretty sure that this weekend is going to be absolutely exciting.
Yeah, it is, dude.
I still have a positive feeling that they're going to at least do good in the match itself and with the others. Who knows? Maybe Jade Cargill will surprise us with something actually really fun to watch.
I imagine if Jade Cargill actually loses the title. That's not going to happen.
Probably not.
Right?
I don't know.
That's not gonna...
This is the Taya Valkyrie's second attempt here.
All right, there you go, man.
But anyways, that concludes our predictions to AEW Double or Nothing. This is the third episode of this weekend's podcast, and I'm just going to relax, get ready to enjoy the shows, and Heel Balor, you know what to do.
Yeah, we are the losers, and this is our lounge. See you in the next one, dudes.